Redline Logbook here for Chapter 12 of Wistoria. We start off where we left off with the big meeting that Will was invited to, and as you can imagine, Thawne and Julius are against Will being there completely. They hate his guts. Not surprising at all. Liana is actually confused why they're upset, even though she watched the games happen and saw the two of them get beat by Will, so Will might be right. She is an airhead. Anyway, Thawne decides to attack Will because Will looked at Lena for a second, which in his eyes was him looking away from Thawne. And that counts as ignoring him, which it doesn't. Thawne is overly sensitive when it comes to Will, apparently. But that is when Yagner activates a spell that turns the entire room into a field of flowers, just like how the elves during the Crown game made an entire arena filled with different landscapes. Phantasmagoric is the name of this magic, and apparently it's unique only to the elves, so basically every elf can do this, can just create their environment however they see fit. That's pretty busted when you think about it, because that means you can create an environment where your magic is best suited to fight in. Anyway, he did this as a way just to get everyone's attention so he could tell them to calm themselves. Liana then explains that they are the 4 best students, plus Will has skill that are necessary for their advancement in the dungeon. That was proven out during the magical games. Of course, Thawne and Julius argue that's ridiculous, but then Yagner completely smacks them down by basically just pointing out that they're salty because they lost. Of course, they get pissed off at such a claim, but Yagner's right. They both lost to Will, plain and simple. His sword beat their wands. Thawne and Julius, unable to argue against that, then just tried to insult Yagner at this point by saying that he should then submit himself to Liana because she's always top of the class. He can never beat her score. And Yagner responds, "Of course I listen to her, and of course I respect her. She's proven she's better." The way in which he smiles as he says that, he clearly is saying that in the most smug way possible just to fuck with them. And I'm loving it. But since they ran out of insults and they couldn't really say anything else about Will or about Yagner, the two of them at this point just shut up and start listening. Now that she can speak, Liana explains straight out that her desire is to be first in their class when they graduate and go into the tower. And that is her one and only goal. And she will use whatever means possible, even if it means using all of them, to do that. Will is kind of confused because she's already top of the class and she's did so well at the magical games. Why didn't she get scouted? But she was scouted. In fact, the Lightning faction directly contacted her. But what she desires is a better future for herself. She says something about how there are unsold goods and inferior types at this academy. I don't entirely understand what she's trying to say here, neither does Will. It seems that Yagner and Julius understand, but they're the only two, so whatever this is, it definitely is at the core of who she is right now. She reveals that she is a noble family known as the Owen-Sack, and the Owen-Sacks apparently die young. That's just how it goes for them. Now, it doesn't say if there's some kind of disease they had that kills them, but more likely they die in combat, because what's shown is a dragon rider in full knight gear, which means these people, her family, most likely fight on the front lines constantly and are constantly dying. And so just being scouted won't do. Just going up the tower won't do. What she needs to do is become a Magia Wende. That is the only way she can accomplish her goal. And placed in front of them is a coin and a cup. And she tells them, if you put the coin in the cup, that means you agree to becoming part of my team. She, of course, places her coin first, and without any surprise to anyone, each member puts their coin in because they all realize this is the best chance for them to rack up some serious points. I said it last chapter, you'd have to be an idiot to not want to be a part of this team. It is the best team that can possibly take part in this exam. When this is over, Will finally gets back to his friends who were concerned because he just disappeared on them. I said that was weird last chapter and it's still weird now, but he tells them that he decided to join Liana's group in the expedition. We are now back in school. In fact, we are in Walkner's class, and he is explaining to basically the entire student body, well, graduating class, that they are going to go into the dungeon in 10 days, and for the first time they will be able to go into floors 7 through 10. This is the perfect opportunity for all students, especially those who are on the verge of failing, because it is possible to earn over 1,000 credits in one go. That would be an extraordinary success story because you need 7,200 credits to graduate into the upper college. So this is 100% the opportunity that everyone has been waiting for. This is basically a guaranteed graduation. That's if you survive, because every year students die. In fact, in the previous year, 4 students died. Professor Edward is also there, and he basically explains to everyone, this is not a time to be reckless. This isn't a time for people who think they can be Magia Wandas if they do really great. No, this is a time for people who know their limits and are able to stay within those limits. You'd have to be an idiot to die just to get a few credits. We then jump over to the tower, where we meet 2 individuals. The first one being that arrogant guy who's part of the Magia Wanda. We get his name, Cariot, and with him is a member of his faction, the Flame faction, an adjudicator, Logwell. So apparently Cariot is the Wand's representative for the expedition, which means his faction will most likely be helping out during it. And from what I can tell, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want anything involved with this. But that's when his underling Logwell then points out that lightning is self-indulgent, Faye is arrogant, and ice is lazy, so he is clearly the best representative to do this job. That's really him just gassing up his boss, but from what I can tell, he isn't entirely wrong based on everyone's personality. Carrier then asks if their king has returned, the lightning monarch, the 5th Magia Wanda, and apparently the top dog of the entire kingdom. And he hasn't. He's still on his expedition, which means he's most likely still deep in the dungeon doing whatever he's doing. Cariot then laughs at this because that moon that's a magical spell that's holding up the sky, the fake sky, is starting to fade away, and that means they need to have their 5th Magia Wanda to get there so they can all reestablish the barrier. So if the king doesn't show up soon, they're going to end up having the sky fall. We then immediately skip 10 days into the future, and we are now on the 6th floor of the dungeon in a camp being run by the teachers, obviously, where all the students are waiting for their permission to go into the 7th floor. Clannad apparently decided to invite herself on to Will's party, and Liana's like, I didn't invite you, why are you here? And her best excuse is, wherever Will goes, I go. And I guess Clannad's okay with that. Guess she just does not care, because she just ignores Clannad after that. So, right before they enter the 7th floor, they are then given a warning by Professor Edward, where he says, unlike other expeditions in the dungeon, you will be down there for 1 week straight. Each floor already has a camp with a teacher waiting there. Once you get to that floor, check in with the teacher, and at any point, if you feel like you need to, you can resign. Just contact the teacher on that floor, and they will escort you back to the surface, or at least back to the 6th floor where the massive camp is being held. After that, they're told to begin, and the entirety of Will's group just jumps straight into the hole, into the 7th floor. Jagner uses his wind magic to slow everyone's fall, so they don't actually, go splat. Everyone lands on their feet except for Will and Clannad, who apparently didn't see that coming. They were just ready to go splat, I guess. I don't know. As soon as they're on the 7th floor, an entire nest of giant red ants appear and start to charge at them. Will realizes that mages are long-range fighters, and so since these monsters are right on top of them, it would be best for him, a warrior, to fight the enemies that are this close. But before he gets a chance to even draw his sword, Jagner stops him and basically says, do you not know who the Owen Sacks are? They're a family of knights. And what Liana does is she casts a spell on her own body. She's covered completely in lightning, and in a complete instant, she is able to blitz and kill every single ant. And this is apparently something that her entire family can do. They're all known for being close quarters fighters, which has been stated before to be the thing that mages hate the most. Mages are supposed to be able to stand in one spot and then fire their spells at a distance. The fact that her entire family are close quarters fighters means that it makes sense that they die young, but also they're most likely looked down upon by a bunch of other people, because fighting hands-on is seen as barbaric. It's one of the many reasons why dwarfs and Will get mocked. Liana then says it would be a hassle to have to fight the other students for credits, so it's just better just to go deeper into the dungeon. So it would not surprise me if the next chapter starts off with them just in floor 10, like the deepest they can go, so they can kill the strongest monsters to get the best credits. We then skip to somewhere else in the dungeon, somewhere between floors 7 and 10. It doesn't specify where, but I know it's got to be these floors because they mention the expedition these students are on and how it's going to be a hassle, because they were ordered to get something in secret, but since there's going to be a bunch of kids here, that's going to be a problem. So these 2 dudes who are already slaughtered people, most likely holding the head of a teacher, straight up say, okay, fine, if we have to deal with the students, we'll just kill them. Okay, multiple questions. 1, who are these dudes? 2, why does one of them not have a head? What is the secret thing that they're looking for in the dungeon? 4, who's their boss that they're working for? And 5, how long do you think it's going to take before Will's group just bumps into them? because I don't think they're going to be the first to bump into these guys. I have a feeling that other students are going to bump into these guys first, get slaughtered, and that is when Will rushes in to save these other students. And that's why their group ends up having to fight, because they have to protect these other weaker students from these psychopaths. Either way, this expedition arc is about to get really exciting, because screw fighting some terrible monster that could be in the expedition. No. We're taking on some kind of evil mages. And once again, one of them doesn't even have a head. I need that explained. Alright, if you enjoy this video, subscribe, give a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Wistoria and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.